What's going on, everybody? Brezzy43 here. I am back. Happy Sunday. Here with our next video today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. In honor of the 25th anniversary of Pokemon, I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the announcement that just happened and then do something a little different. So, for those of you that don't know, yesterday was the marked 25 years since the Japanese release of Pokemon Red and Pokemon Green. So Pokemon has officially been a video game for 25 years, which is really exciting. If you haven't picked up your Pikachu yet, make sure you do that. There's a Pokemon's giving away through today a Pikachu with Lightning Rod that has Sing as a move. So I would recommend that for sure if you're interested in that. It's on. I have mine. I just haven't checked to see if we can evolve it yet. If it can evolve into Raichu, that'd be pretty cool. Maybe Sing would be a fun tech move. But anyway, pick up your Raichu with the Mystery Gift code. Just Google it. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. I think it's like P25 music or something like that. But we just got a huge announcement 2 days ago on Friday. The Pokemon Company has released 2 new games that will be joining the Pokemon franchise in about a full calendar year's worth of time. At the end of this year, we will be getting Diamond and Pearl remakes, and at the beginning of next year, we will be getting an open world RPG style game set in ancient or old Sinnoh, which is Gen 4 as well. So those are both really exciting. I don't want to talk too much of the logistics of the game because the fact is we don't know that much about it. I know that a lot of people are talking about the graphics from the Diamond and Pearl remakes looking like they're not much of an upgrade. Personally, I think they're kind of sweet. I'm excited to play a little bit of nostalgia, and explore Gen 4 again. That was one of the few games that I did not play. I only played through Diamond once, and I never played the other ones. So, yeah, I'm excited for that. I don't want to get into too many logistics because the reality is we don't really know about the game, and I know there's a lot of buzz around the fact of those graphics and people saying, oh, the game's going to be bad, and I'm going to try to stay optimistic because I don't know anything about the game. None of us have played it yet, so I don't want to give any real input on that. I do know that the open world one looks incredible. I'm really excited about that. So, to honor the Pokemon 25th anniversary, I wanted to do a fun Pokemon tier list here, exploring all of the Pokemon games and kind of rank them based on where I personally put them. I did change the D category to DNP, which stands for me and did not play. There are a couple of these games that I did not play. And so I'm going to make sure that I am fair to those games and that I didn't play them, so I can't really give my input on them. I'm going to rank them sort of as S on my level of enjoyment. A is going to be like, I think there's going to be a couple games in the S tier. A is going to be like a really solid game that I would recommend. B is probably going to be good for nostalgia purposes. And then C, in my opinion, is going to be like, in my personal opinion, all Pokemon games are great, but C is going to be like my least favorites. And I'll kind of talk about why they're my least favorites. So I'm going to go in order of generations. So just to immediately get these out of here, I did not play any of the Japanese ones. I don't know how these stack up compared to the other American ones. So I'm not going to touch those really. But Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Red, and Pokemon Yellow. So Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Red, and Pokemon Yellow, in my opinion, I'm going to order them like this. So Pokemon Red and Blue were fantastic games for their time. I loved the games. I played them as a kid. I think I played them through early elementary school for me. I was born in 94, so I was able to kind of play them as they came out. In America, which was, I think, 99, I think is when they came out in America, which is pretty great. I was a bigger fan of Pokemon Yellow because Pokemon Yellow was exactly the same as the anime. My brother and I grew up playing these games and watching the anime. So Pokemon Yellow being exactly true to the anime, where your starting Pokemon was a Pikachu and you got to get all 3 of the starter Pokemon that way, was pretty hype. I was super excited about that. So For me, yellow is ranked a bit higher than red and blue. The reality is, going back and playing these games now, the reason why they're in the B tier is because I would not recommend playing them now. There's not unless you really want a nostalgia purpose, but if I was going to rank them at the time of their sort of for their game, it would probably be an A tier. These games are great. Maybe I should just do this. This might be more fair. I think this is more fair. They're all fantastic games. They're some of my favorite games. I love them. I remember playing them a lot as a child. So for me, they're going to be A. Next is going to be Gen 2. We're gonna kind of go through my memory of the release of these games. So for me, Gold, Silver, and Crystal. I did play these. That's the wrong one. This is the right one. And Silver. Or Crystal. Gold, Silver, Crystal. I think these are closer to B tier for me. They weren't quite as amazing as these games, but they were a wonderful continuation of a franchise that really pushed me through it as a child and through a lot of my enjoyment with my friends. This is definitely some of my favorite games as well. Not quite as high as these, obviously, but they were good games. They were fun because they encompassed, for those of you that didn't play them, they did encompass both Johto region and Kanto region. You would play through the Johto region, which was Gen 2, get your 8 badges, you go beat the Elite Four, and then you would get to take the ferry from Siennawood Town, not Siennawood. I can't remember the name of the other town. The one where you fought the Steel gym leader number 6. I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, there was a ferry there that would take you over to Vermilion, and then you could battle the Vermilion. You could start in Vermilion and start with Surge and kind of battle your way around, kind of doing things in reverse order. And eventually you would end up completing all 8 badges from the original game, and then you would face the Elite Four again, and then after that you could go and face Red on Mount Silver, which was super, super awesome. But I was still a little bit too young during this time to really understand what I was doing with Pokemon. I was just really, really little kid. Even when these games came out in the early 2000s or late 90s, I was still only, 10. So I wasn't really understanding fully what I was doing at that age. I didn't really have any direction for any sort of competitive remark, and also they just weren't really competitive games. So Fire Red and Leaf Green, I'm going to put these into, I think, the C area. Just because for me, maybe C's unfair. Maybe it's B. Just because I really didn't play them that much. I did play through Leaf Green, and my brother did play through Fire Red, and we did compare, and it was really fun to go back to those games. But I didn't really enjoy them as much as other people did. I know there was something with islands in that game where you could go to like a bunch of different islands and get different stuff. We never really figured it out. So for that, I think those are going to be B tier games. They might even be C tier. I'm going to go ahead and grab Heart Gold and Soul Silver right now as well. Excuse me. So for me, these games are going to be S tier. I think these games were. I played these in my mid-teen years. Sort of one of the last Pokemon games that I played. I know I'm getting a little bit out of order here. I know that these came out a little bit later than Gen 4 and Gen 3, but these were S tier games for me. I spent so much time in these games. Soul Silver was the first game that I had ever played through and completed the Pokedex. My brother had Heart Gold. I ended up using both games to trade over some Pokemon and stuff. You could catch a ton of Pokemon in these games. You could catch a lot of the Generation 3 Pokemon. Everything was there. Everything you wanted was there. It was a fantastic game. So yeah, I think for me, because of the amount of time I spent to them, because I started to really grasp my understanding of the game a little bit more, from a strategic standpoint, I think those games are going to be S tier for me. Let's go back to Gen 3 and let's grab Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald version. Emerald for me is going to be another S tier. Sapphire and Ruby are going to be A tier Pokemon for me, A tier games for me. I played a lot of Emerald. My brother and I both got Ruby and Sapphire as well. And then, excuse me. Sorry, we did some cleaning this morning. We kicked up some dust in the apartment, so. All right. So Ruby and Sapphire were fantastic games that we invested a lot of time in, but Emerald was the big one. Emerald we played so much of, and It came out technically before the Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but it was still one of my favorite games to play. I think that it was probably second most or third most now for me. So I really liked this one. From story standpoint, these games were great. Battling you through your 8 badges, being friends with your partner, getting through the gyms. Everything was good so far with these games. So next, I'm gonna be honest with Gen 4. This is part of the reason why I'm so excited for these remakes is because Gen 4, I didn't really play, and what I did play was just Diamond, and I played it once through, and that was it. I did not play Pearl or Platinum, and this was when I kind of fell off of Pokemon. I guess technically after Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I didn't really play after this very much for a while. I took a little bit of a break. For me, this would have been probably age 14, 15 during the Soul Silver Diamond era for me. And after that, I kind of fell out with it. I kind of stopped playing Pokemon after this. And I didn't have a lot of friends that were still playing. And so Diamond was one of the last ones I played. I don't even know if I finished it all the way through, like with Legendaries. I remember I figured out where to catch Garchomp and stuff like that, but I didn't really know much else about what to do in that game. And honestly, I can't really remember anything about it. So I'm excited for that. I remember the starters. I remember the Garchomp. I obviously know who the Legendaries are, but I don't really remember much else about the game. So to be fair to it, I'm going to put it in a B because I do remember enjoying it. But I don't really remember much else other than that. So then we go to Black and White, and again, these are some that I did not play. I thought there was Black and White 2. Are they not listed here? Yeah, there's Black 2. Am I blind? There it is. So I didn't play any of those games at all, and I still haven't to this day. So those are going to be in the do not play category. Maybe I should put these out of it because technically I did play Diamond, which is similar to Pearl, but I did not play Black and White. I think I might have owned a copy for a while, and I remember picking the Fire Pig for the starter, but I don't remember getting very far, and I don't feel comfortable giving this an evaluation because I just don't feel like I actually played it. I wouldn't until Sword and Shield. I couldn't even tell you what the name of these legendary Pokemon were. So that is kind of where I was at with that. And then X and Y came out, and X and Y, in my honest opinion, are not great games. They introduced Mega Evolution, which I personally liked, and they also brought out some really cool Pokemon. They made some Pokemon good that weren't very good with Megas. They also kind of broke some Pokemon with Megas. But this was our introduction to Mega Evolution. And I didn't play them right away. I played them after I kind of got back into Pokemon. But X and Y, in my opinion, the story doesn't make a lot of sense. It just doesn't. It's a really long, drawn-out story about a weapon to destroy the planet or to destroy the world, and an ancient king who's chasing after a Flabébé, and I didn't really get it. There was also that stupid city that was in the middle of the game that I used to have to always take a taxi to figure out where I was going because I always got lost. So I don't think the game is very good from a story standpoint. From a gameplay, it's still Pokemon, so I still played it and I still enjoyed it, but they had some pretty messed up stuff in this game. Outside of Megas, you had old Gale Wings, Talonflame, and some other pretty annoying stuff that was pretty nuts from a competitive standpoint, but it was still a good game. Xerneas is pretty busted, but Yveltal's a cool Pokemon, so I would still recommend playing them if you haven't played them, but just be prepared for a very drawn-out story that is not super enjoyable. Okay, so now we get back into where Brezzy rejoined Pokemon, and that's going to be Oris, and these games, in my opinion, are S tier. These were fantastic remakes of my favorite games as a child. These came out, I was a sophomore in college, so 2014. And I remember I was reconnecting with an old friend of mine from high school who played Pokemon, and we saw these games get remade. We saw them coming out. We were like, "Holy cow, this looks incredible. We should get these games and we should look into it." I had a roommate in college who had an extra 3DS, and he let me use it. And I bought Omega Ruby. My friend bought Alpha Sapphire, and he came to visit for a weekend. And my roommate, I don't remember which one he bought, but we just played Pokemon all weekend, and it was an amazing game. They did some really nice cosmetic things. New Mauville City looked really cool. The Eon Flute was a nice touch. Mega Evolution was in this game as well, which I personally don't have that many gripes about Mega Evolution. Some of the Megas were pretty crazy, but I think that overall it was a cool thing for the game that I didn't hate. I actually kind of enjoyed. So you get to catch the legend in this game. You get to primarily revert it. The Battle Frontier was done really well. They had that nice breeding loop that you could take. There was what do you call it? Bases that you could go and battle, and they had those Blissey bases that you could use that would help you level up your Pokemon. And they had the Dex Nav. The Dex Nav was huge, groundbreaking technology for competitive Pokemon players. This was the first game that I really dove into competitive. My friend who came to visit me and play with me was somebody who had done some competitive breeding before. He was more of a singles player, but we talked through it. I started breeding some Pokemon and looking for it, and the Dex Nav was a fantastic tool to use to grind through finding different hidden abilities, finding egg moves, breeding them together. Really, really cool stuff came out of this game. So I'm a big fan. And I would recommend these games for anyone who enjoyed Ruby and Sapphire. They were S-tier games for me, for sure, hands down. Next after this is Pokemon Sun and Moon. I want to be fair to these games and honestly put them here. I think that these games they were fine. They weren't. I didn't like the removal of the. The gym battles, and said you had an island challenge, and I didn't really love the Z moves. I thought Z moves were pretty crazy. I did not play at this time. I still wasn't playing competitive Pokemon. I was still just watching it and kind of observing and learning about the ins and outs of it. And Pokemon Sun and Moon was a cool game. Like they had some cool Pokemon they had some really groundbreaking Pokemon come out of this game, like Incineroar and Primarina and different Pokemon like that. The game itself was an enjoyable story for the most part. There was some stuff towards the end that I didn't like as much, but actually I think I'm gonna put them here because for me, I actually think that these were okay. Both of these games had cutscenes that were really, really long and not so enjoyable, but Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon had this really cool end game that for me was a bit nostalgic, where you could go back through and face the villains from the previous games. I really enjoyed that. I know I'm probably in the minority thinking that these games were reasonable. I know a lot of people didn't like them very much, but I think I enjoyed them more than Sun and Moon, but maybe they also should be C-tier games. I don't know. I think I enjoyed these ones more than these ones, and I think that there were some things they changed about Pokemon Sun that I didn't like. I remember being a little bit bitter that we didn't get the Dex Nav back from this game, and there was some like the Poképelago was interesting, but I didn't really like it very much compared to these games. So that's gonna be my honest opinions there. I played through Sun twice, and I played through Ultra Sun once. So, yeah, I think that they were fine games overall. And if you have a 3DS and you're wanting a good Pokemon game, I would still recommend playing it. But ultimately, I think they were not as good as some of these other games. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, I'm probably going to put these as C-tier games. I played Let's Go Eevee. I didn't finish it. It was okay. It was a fun remake of Gen 1 again. At this point, we'd had 3 Gen 1 remakes, but um, I enjoyed it. It was fun to go back to Kanto. It was fun to kind of go through the story again and do something different with the catching and stuff like that, but I didn't really get it. And then I found out that competitive didn't even exist for it, so it was kind of like, what's the point? Um, I get the crossover between Pokemon Go and Pokemon Let's Go, so cute. I get it. All right, so now we're to Sword and Shield. And I'm going to be honest with my evaluation here. I'm going to put these games in the B tier. And the reason why is because the story wasn't that great. I felt like it was lacking in some aspects. I did like the return to the gym battles, and the gym battles were pretty hype. Like they had, you were in a stadium, and you had like hype music going on and these crazy battles, and it was a cool series for sure. Like it was definitely a great like gym battle perspective. Story wasn't great. Dynamax is probably busted. I don't think people would say, like, for me, I think Mega Evolution is better than Dynamax, which is better than Z moves. So that's my personal thoughts on it. I don't know if I'm right or if other people would disagree and have other reasons to disagree, but these games were pretty insane in terms of the Dynamax. I don't think they have a lot of replayability. I've replayed my copy of Shield once, but it was to get the alternate forms of legendary Pokemon, and I gave myself some rejects that had perfect IVs to just cruise through the game because I wasn't really trying to enjoy the game. I was just more like, give me my extra legendaries that I need to get. I didn't hate the games though, and I think that they've done a lot of really positive things for the community, for the competitive community. I know Sun and Moon brought about bottle caps. This brought about hidden ability capsules and hidden ability patches, and bottle caps were more easily given out. Feathers were introduced, which were really nice ways of fine-tuning EVs, and so ultimately I think that they were good games for the health of the community, and they were fine overall. But from a story standpoint and just from Dynamax being a little bit crazy, I think that that it kind of loses a couple of votes for me. But I've really enjoyed these games so far. I think that they're really good overall. I like the user friendliness towards them. I like the ease that it allows competitive Pokemon to jump in. And this was really the first game that I started playing competitive in. Like I said, I had followed it from Alpha Sapphire up through Sun and Moon, and into this game, but I never really tried to play it. And this game allowed me to bring my competitive Pokemon that I had been breeding from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire up to this game, and then push through into what I've been doing on this channel now. So, yeah, I think this is my tier list. I think I'm happy with this. These games were some of the best games I've ever played in terms of a video game that brought enjoyment to me personally. These games were other really popular nostalgic games for me, and then my B tier is pretty scattered with games that I thought were good but also nostalgic games, and then these games were pretty mediocre overall. But that being said, I am super, super excited for Diamond and Pearl remakes. I think that they are going to be pretty legit. If you want to see, I can link the YouTube video into the comment section, or into the video here, so you guys can see it. If you haven't seen it yet, take a look and give me your thoughts. I think it's sweet. I think it's going to be really cool. And I'm really excited to go back to Sinnoh and actually play it with a better understanding of the game than I had at the time. A lot of my friends just played Pokemon for the enjoyment factor. None of us really knew what we were doing from a breeding or competitive standpoint. So it's gonna be fun to see if they do decide to make competitive Pokemon go through Gen 4. If they don't, then if they wait until the Pokemon Legends Arceus game, then so be it. But I'm excited to give it a try. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for this here. It's a bit of a shorter video today. I hope you all don't mind. But Pokemon's changed my life from a video game standpoint. I've really enjoyed it overall. I've made some connections with friends that we made through Pokemon, and we really enjoyed it. And Pokemon's been a game that I can be a 26-year-old person still playing because I enjoy it so much. And even though I'm not really, it's my hobby and it's something I enjoy. It's still a fantastic game that I've played throughout my entire life, and they just keep doing things that keep bringing me back. And so for that, I am very grateful for Pokemon being a really fun thing for me to do throughout most of my life has been really good. So yeah, Pokemon's great. Make sure you pick up your Pikachu. Make sure you take a look at the spoilers from Friday. They should be on YouTube. See what you think, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful Sunday. See ya.